Hey guys, Sam here, and welcome back to another episode of our Leeds United Career Mode series. We'll kick things off today's episode in the Champions League, playing our second Champions League game, this time away at Olympique Marseille. Of course, in the last episode we played Real Madrid away at the Santiago Bernabeu, and we pulled out an incredible result, guys. If you didn't watch it, go ahead and do so. It was a hell of a game, and I think in the Champions League we're playing really well. Of course, I only have one game to go off of, and today we do actually start off pretty badly against Marseille with Dimitri Payet opening the goal scoring in France. 2 away games in a row in the Champions League could have really been... I mean, realistically speaking, if I looked at the fixtures, I thought 2 away games, potentially 0 points from 2 very good teams, could have left us in a pretty bad position. But of course, our result against Real Madrid puts us in a bit more of a positive mood, I guess, and gives us a little bit more belief going into this game. And Lucas Perez brings us back into this game specifically with a massive strike. He just smashes it, really. If you watch the replay, he just gets it back and he just has a go at it, really. Like, he's not expecting anything. He's not looking at the goal. He just hits it. And it somehow finds its way in the back of the net. No way Mandanda is saving that. Or is that even Mandanda? I don't even know. Did he return to Marseille, I think, in this career mode? I could be wrong, though. That might not have been him. And similarly, Marseille nearly got the same opportunity to smash one back and make a 2-1. Very unfortunate if you're a Marseille fan watching that. That was crossbar and then just outside the goal, I believe. Townsend brings one back, though, with Kelly whipping it in. And Townsend, I mean, he had an incredible game against Real Madrid. And it looks like the Champions League is really this man's competition at the moment, as he scores another goal in the Champions League and makes it 2-1 to us. And we're up in France, and again, we have a bit of confidence, a bit of belief, but Marseille are a really talented team, and it's still only the first half, so a lot of time for Marseille to bring this back and make it interesting, and it's Germain who just passes it to no one. I'm not sure who he was looking for in the first place. Initially, I'm not sure who he was looking for. Vieira's just asleep on the wall pretty much, and what ends up happening is he gives it away to Morgan Sanson, who just tucks it away near post. Ramsdale just does not see that coming, and Marseille are back in the game 2-2 early on in the second half, and giving themselves plenty of time to even go up in this game. Also giving us a little bit of time to react to that goal and maybe try and bring it back. Lucas Perez, you see, just playing with the ball there. Cholak with a fantastic ball. I mean, that's just incredible. To Townsend once again scoring another goal. Absolute scenes, because Townsend is like the top goal scorer in the Champions League at this point, if you take into consideration the Real Madrid game. Absolute scenes. This kid is just smashing it in the Champions League. He really, I mean, Townsend hasn't really been... I mean, he's been good for us on the left. He's been a very solid left midfielder, but he has not grabbed this team and been a standout player. He's never really got man of the matches. He's never really got a lot of Billy Bremner points on the board, but in the Champions League, he's killing it. Unfortunately, though, we do not hang on to the win as Dimitri Payet brings one back to make it 3-3 in an extremely entertaining and explosive Champions League game. And unfortunately, this match does end as a draw. A lot of near-post finishes in this game. It was a really strange game, but honestly really fun to play this game. It was a really fun game. The only bad news that came out of it was that Phil Jones got injured in this game, and he is out for about 8 weeks through injury. So that's a huge injury, that's a huge loss. Of course, we do have Jorge, who will step into that centre-back role with Pontus Jansson, who, of course, they're very familiar with each other. And then Cooper will come onto the bench. So it's not too bad, but Phil Jones was getting his feet under him here at the club, and he was starting to... Really, I thought he was pretty good. I thought Phil Jones was doing really well. So unfortunate to lose him at this point of the season. A pretty tough point to lose him. But we do move back into the Premier League, where we've been extremely inconsistent. We do have a home game against Leicester. And at home last episode in the Premier League, we were pretty bad. I mean, we were losing games at home, something that we haven't done this season very often. And it was just not what I was expecting, to be honest with you guys. Because last season, we were so good in the Premier League. We were beating so many big teams, home and away, that this season we were struggling against mediocre teams, and it just was not resonating with me. And once again, at home, we concede a goal and go down 1-0, this time against Leicester, against Slimani. And again, I just found myself scratching my head and wondering what was going on. What is changing so much about this team? I mean, there's a lot of rotation going on, that's undeniable. But it's not to the point where, you know, I'm playing terrible teams in the Premier League. I'm trying to figure out if it's one player making the difference or a combination of players. I don't know, but Leicester here just back off of Calvin Phillips, and he says, you know what, you're going to sag off Really, you're gonna allow Calvin Phillips to get some room? He's just gonna have a go, and it's a fantastic long shot to bring us back in the second half. Really, other than that, we weren't creating too many chances. No clear-cut chances. We weren't breaking Leicester down. When they went 1-0 up, they were controlling the game, but for some reason they back off, and I'm not sure why, because if you're going to invite our midfielders to shoot, a lot of our midfielders are capable from long range. Vieira, Phillips, I believe even Carles Alenia might be good from long range, but even if you look down the list at O'Kane can go, and they didn't learn their lesson. Here they are again, this time with Ronaldo Vieira, and he scores an even better goal. He one-ups Calvin Phillips, but again, that looked like a glitch, to be honest. Watching this back, it looked like the players were walking off. It felt like they were walking off as part of a glitch, like they wanted to approach Vieira, but they couldn't, or something. I don't know if that's a known thing. It's never happened to me before, but it was very, very strange that it happened in the same game twice, and a huge miss from Spinazzola there for Leicester means we pick up a 2-1 win. As you can see, at the end of the day, we played much better, but for a long time, Leicester was controlling that game. Ronaldo Vieira, absolute killer of a game. He was really dominating midfield, and I think he stepped his game up this season a lot from last season. He's only gotten better and better, Ronaldo Vieira. He's only improved in this career mode. He's never taken a step back in this career mode. He's only gotten better and better, and he's really becoming one of the he's really becoming one of the key pieces of this team, I would say. As we move into another Premier League game, this time we travel to the southern coast of England to play Bournemouth, who are always going to be a tough team to play, and they start off fantastically, and we seem to concede first a lot now, and especially in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and this doesn't change in this game against Bournemouth. It was a really unfortunate goal, though, it has to be said, off of the rebound. You never really want to concede off the rebound. Ramsdale can't get his feet. I mean, he did get back up, and it's again another near post one where you just can't do anything about it. I mean, you just can't do anything about it. Bournemouth go up 1-0, and I wasn't even that shocked at this point, you know what I mean? But Coyle now going down the right-hand side. Really, Coyle has made himself pretty much a second-choice right-back ahead of Vernon Anita, who usually comes on as now a left-back. I'm playing him as our backup left-back ahead of Berardi. So, yeah, there's a lot of shifting going on in the full-back position. But Sayis, a familiar face, brings us back not that long after Bournemouth went up, actually, a matter of a few minutes. Brings us back 1-1. Perfect response to going down. And it was something to get us back into the game. Really, really fantastic from him. And within the span of 3 minutes, we go down 1-0 and then bring it back to 1-1. Really good finish on his left foot there, Sayis. Just places it, just tucks it, just guides it into the back of the net. And we do bring it back to level terms. However, Bournemouth weren't going to allow that to go on too much. Jordan with a similar finish. A bit harder of a finish and first time hit. I believe that's Jordan Ibe. It brings it back for Bournemouth's sake, makes it 2-1, 25th minute, they're back up 2-1. Not ideal. Not ideal at all, but you can't take away anything from that finish. It's a fantastic finish. That's actually world class. And if you add that other goal, it's two undefendable goals, I think, in my opinion. And for a long time, this game dragged out, nothing happened until the 90th minute where Loftus-Cheek runs the ball. He actually runs the ball for a very, very long time, trying to make something happen. Nothing was happening all game. He gets all the way through, unfortunately shoots it into Ake. He gets it back, and he just puts it in the back of the net. Not the way he would want to score the goal, but he still scores it. Very messy at the end of the day, but it was a fantastic run from Loftus-Cheek. He was a substitute, just making the meters, chewing the meters and making it look easy. And he does bring it back to a very even game, but a really boring game. I think it was a really cagey affair. And at the end of the day, really happy to just pick up a point, to be honest with you guys. But we have not been pulling results in the Premier League. And a draw away from home, I will take. Especially considering we beat Leicester and now draw against Bournemouth. I'm happy with 4 points from 2 games at this point in time because we have been struggling to pick up points. I mean, if you looked at the table last episode, I think we ended the episode at 15th or 14th. So really, really struggling in the Premier League. So definitely happy to pick up some points as we head back into the Champions League. This time at home, the first home Champions League game against Spartak Moscow. Or Spartak Moscow, and we give away a penalty in the first 10 minutes. I mean, what is it with us in the first 10 minutes? Why are we so shaky? Why are we giving things away in the first 10 minutes? I don't know. But it's going to be Zay Lewis to step up against Aaron Ramsdale, and Ramsdale goes the right way and saves it. And I actually don't know the exact stat, but I think Ramsdale has a really good penalty save ratio. I'm pretty sure he's only maybe conceded 1 penalty that I can think of, and he's definitely saved 2 or 3. So really decent effort from Ramsdale. Unfortunately, we don't keep Spartak Moscow out for too long as they get the first goal in the game, again conceding first. and not the best. I mean, we at least we lasted more than 10 minutes this time, but yeah, not the best in the 30th minute. They go up 1-0. Not the best. It's just, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what it is with us and conceding first. Why can we not spark up? Why can we not fire up and get involved in the game until we go 1-0 down? I'm not sure, but we do try and bring one back. Lucas Perez, a chance that I think he really should have scored. I don't know. Like, I really thought on his left foot there that was a guaranteed goal. Unfortunately, it was not. And we do have to just kick on and try and get back into the game. You can see just 20 minutes left in the game now. Saiz is trying to do bits on his left foot once again. He goes for a long shot, and that's an absolute perler. An absolute bullet from Saiz. And he brings it back to 1-1 with 20 or so minutes to go. When you need help, rely on Samuel Saiz. He will bail you out of trouble every single time. He's always been that guy for us, that when we need a spark, when we need something created out of nothing, it's always Saiz that steps up to the plate and says, you know what, Leeds United, I got you, fam. I got you. And it was just one of those situations again in the 70 or so minute. And this time Ronaldo Vieira goes running. He's watched Loftus-Cheek in the last game. He's thought, you know what, I can do it as well. A little bit of a 1-2, puts it past the keeper, and within the span of 10 minutes, we've gone from 1-0 down to 2-1 up, and Elland Road is absolutely bouncing at this point. Saiz and Vieira, two players that have been with us from the start of this series, have just scored 2 goals in the Champions League to put us up 2-1 and to attempt to continue this fantastic run in the Champions League. Although Spartak Moscow are not going to make it easy on us. It's Zay Lewis once again trying to make things happen. He passes it back to a near post finish, and it's 2-2, and the last 20 or so minutes absolutely crazy, and with only a couple minutes in the game, a perfect time for them to score, to try and get something here at Elland Road. Really, really unfortunate. I mean, we brought it back within the span of 10 minutes, and it only took Spartak Moscow about 10 minutes to bring it back and make it 2-2. So really, really unfortunate at home, especially. We have one more opportunity here in the dying embers of the game. Lucas Perez plays it through. Now, that player was offside. I don't know who it was, but he was offside. Saiz whips it in. It's Townsend. Oh, my word. Are you kidding me? Another win, or I guess another result in the Champions League. 2 wins and a draw now, if you count this as a win, which, spoiler alert, they don't get another chance. And how is this for a fun fact? Townsend has scored in every single one of our games in the Champions League. That is absolutely nuts. He has 5 goals in the Champions League now. He's the top goal scorer. This is Townsend's competition. It is that simple. And it's crazy that of all players, it's Andros Townsend who is lighting up the Champions League and picks us up the win. He gets the win for us. There's no other way to say it. When it looked like we had drawn for all hope, we were out of the... I mean, we weren't going to get 3 points at home. Townsend flies in with a fucking header and makes it 3-2. We pick up a win. Going to the last game of the month, and unfortunate news in that Spartak Moscow game as well. Emre Cholak injured, out for 3 weeks. Really, really unfortunate. So now we have Phil Jones and Emre Cholak out. I mean, Cholak has been off and on. He hasn't really lit up as much as I would say like a Lucas Perez has in terms of new signings, but he has been okay, and it's really, really bad. It's really a big miss because of the rotation factor. Now Saiz will have to play a few more games, and that's not a bad thing. Saiz is a good player, so him playing more is not a bad thing, but he won't get as much chance to rest, which is the bad thing. As we go into this game against Burnley, it is a bit of a rested lineup. We did have a pretty weak midfield. Baker coming in, one of our youth players actually playing in central midfield, is about 71 rated midfield. And I actually do want to give you guys a squad report real soon. I don't know if I'll do it in the next episode, but probably the episode after that. Maybe when we get to about January, December or January, I'll do a squad report and show you guys some of the younger players as well. Unfortunately though, here against Burnley, really, really struggling, and it almost to me felt like 2 steps forward with the 2 results against Leicester and Bournemouth, and now 3 steps back here against Burnley at home, 2-0 down. And at about the hour mark, we do have a lifeline here, courtesy of Axel Twanzabian. I don't know if you guys can hear that thunder, but it is storming right now outside my room. But we do have a penalty opportunity, and it is Saiz who will step up. Twanzabian, of course, moving to Burnley, gives us an opportunity to get back in the game. Saiz does get it back into the game, 2-1 at the penalty, keeping his nerves. But unfortunately for us, it's not going to be a long-lived dream to bring this one back, as Westwood brings it back on his right foot and finishes it. And that goal there was the frustrating one for me. As frustrating as this game was against Burnley, which it was, a really, really tough and frustrating game, this one we gave the ball away, and it was really, really bad. I mean, we gave it away in our own third, and we got punished. Burnley absolutely punished us, and unfortunately for us, it does not go the way we wanted. and Burnley will pick up the win. And it's not the fact that we didn't have any chances, because moving forward, we had great chances in the last 5 or so minutes to at least make it interesting. This one was, I thought this was an absolutely shocking miss from Samuel Saiz. He walks up to the goal and hits the post. Absolutely crazy that Saiz cannot finish that. And then Ronaldo Vieira just a couple of minutes later with a long shot. I don't expect that to go in, but again, really, really unfortunate. 9 shots, 2 on target. And we do lose 3-1 at home to Burnley, so not the best at all. To end the episode, it almost feels as if we've made no progress in the Premier League. We won 1, we drew 1, and we lost 1 in the Premier League. And this was a really interesting email I got, guys, from Arsenal offering me a job. Now, of course, I'm not going to be taking this job. It's not even up for debate. I won't even allow you guys to vote for it, but Arsenal are really, really struggling this season. If you take a look at the table, they are 19th on the table, no wins, 6 draws, 3 losses. Really struggling in the relegation zone. It'll depend on what exactly we do this season, guys, but more likely than not, we've got 1 season now in the Champions League with Leeds, and even if I don't win anything here at Leeds, I think this might be my last season with Leeds. And one of the teams that I will be looking at potentially joining in the next season is Arsenal. Now, it's only one option for me moving forward with the managerial career. It's 1 step forward from Leeds. It could be an option. I just want to lay it out there for you guys. What team would you like to see us join? I'm thinking right now, if we finish the season and City and Arsenal have still struggled throughout the season, they would be 2 teams I would love to take over. I want to take over a big team that's struggling. I want to take a big team to the next level, to a Premier League title, and win some silverware. Because as much as I love this Leeds United team, the likelihood that we'll win some silverware here is pretty low. And as a manager, I would like to win some silverware. I've done great things at Leeds United. I'm not officially announcing that it'll be the last season, but more likely than not, it will be. So, City and Arsenal right now are on my radar. Let me know who else you'd like to see me take over. But that is the end of today's episode, guys. That is what the table looks like. And in terms of the Billy Bremner table, that is what the Billy Bremner table looks like, with Saiz at the top of the table, 14 points, Danny Ings with 10, and Lucas Perez with 9, guys. So that is the end of today's episode. If you did enjoy it, do leave a like on the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.